Okay, so I've just gone to the fourth page in this document, which has the section, so that I can see the level heights that I need, because I want to make the levels before I create the walls, so that I can set the heights that I want to the walls as I create them. And so you can see here we have the ground line, which is the lowest level in the project that we'll need. And then moving up from there, we've got a floor level above, and then another floor level above that. Finally, a level for the top of the wall here that this roof projects from. And then finally a level for the top of the gable, which is the highest point in that building. And so the way you should be thinking when you create levels in Revit is to start with the lowest level that you think you'll need in the project overall. And what I found with Revit is that this ground floor level that you are given in the Australian architectural template is good to have as the lowest level. So it begins life as ground floor, but I'm going to rename it by right clicking on ground floor and then choosing rename, and I'm just going to call it ground. And it should then ask, would you like to rename corresponding views? And I'm going to say yes. Always say yes when you ask that. Yeah, definitely, yeah. So when you see this dialog box, yeah. There's maybe the odd case where you'd say no, but pretty much always say yes. And so you should then see that in the ceiling plans, it will say ground as well, and level 1 will still be there. And so now I'm going to go down to the section view, section 1, and you can see there that it's changed there as well. So by saying yes, it's changing all those other things as well as the original view name. So we've got ground and level 1. I'm going to keep level 1 with that name. I want to use that for this level here, and it's not far off the right height. So I want to make a new level now that's in between those, 300 mil above the ground level. So back on the architecture tab, you'll find the level tool, and then I'm just going to hover to the left. In between, doesn't matter if it's not 300. In fact, mine isn't 300 above. It's a bit more than that. That's fine. And then I'm going to take it over to the left and line up with the other levels. And you can see it's coming in as level 2. It's fine. I can then just go and change that to ground floor.
How do you I just click on it?
Yeah, click on the blue text. Yeah.
There's one background.
Yeah. Now, if you, I'll just press escape. If you don't get it coming up blue, if you've finished drawing, all you need to do is just make sure you've cancelled the command altogether by pressing escape, and then you can select the level by clicking on the line, and it'll come up blue again, and you can change it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the first thing is to change the name. And when you press enter, you get the same question again. Would you like to rename corresponding views? And so as before, say yes. And that way, if you look in the project browser, you don't need to change anything there, but you can just look in there and see that in floor plans and ceiling plans, it'll have ground floor now. So I'll select the level height there and change that to 300. And you can see then that it's overlapping the other level, which is going to make life difficult. So you can select then the level below, ground, and then even though it's the option you want is hidden, you can still find it by hovering and then moving along the line. You'll see it'll come up with a little break symbol, which is at elbow. So it'll be under the 300 probably, and if you click there, that'll put in an elbow so you can move that text down and separate it. And you can also drag it across. So you should, I'll just undo that. Yeah, so what you've got to select ground first, just click on the line for ground, and then just move under.
Did you change the angle of the elbow?
Yeah, so you can just drag this other grip over to the left.
So my 300 on it in the way,
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can still, yeah, you can still move to find it. So you generally need to move the one that's to the left first, and then so it won't go up and down. It'll just go left and right, and then the other one you can move up and down and left and right as well. So that way you can have levels close together. And then we've got the one above for level 1 is only 2.5 metres, so really low ceilings, but that's the way the building is in real life, so people live there. So yeah.
My family.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, I've seen buildings in the UK that are even lower ceilings than this. Yeah. So you can live there, yeah. But I couldn't. I'd struggle. But anyhow, and I'm not that tall. But anyhow, so this one, level 1, is going to be 2,500, and then you can make a new level for the height above that. So just using the level tool again, left to right. And so this one I'm going to call TOW, top of wall. Yes, again, to rename corresponding views, and again 2.5 metres above the previous level, which means in total it'll be 5,000. Oh, now sorry, I'm not thinking here. We're measuring from the ground floor, so if you want to measure from the previous level, you can always do it by finding the dimension, but I should be showing you with the right heights here. So adding 300, that should be 2,800. Yep. And then top of wall should be then 5,300. Yeah. And then, it's a bit embarrassing, it's too early for me to add this up in my head, or is it? That should be, is that 2.5 metres? 1167 plus 1183 is, sorry, no, not 2.5, 2,300, is that right? No, 2,350. 2,250. Should be, yeah, 2,250. Okay, so adding those two numbers up quickly in my head, it should be 2,250, I think. Yeah. So again, I'm just going to use the level tool and left to right, and then our total will be, I'll show you how you can do it without even adding these up in your head in a moment, but 7,550 would be the measurement from the ground, but over here you could always use that dimension that comes up, and you can see there that is the difference, and my maths is right. Ridge. So yeah, now I'm just trying to think of a better name than ridge. So It's the ridge of the gable, but it's not really the roof ridge. So let's call it TOW ridge.
Why don't we call it ridge?
Just because we're going to have a ridge, another level later called ridge, unfortunately. And also, I'm just trying to get things in order. So if you get an alphabetical naming system that goes from low to high, then they automatically are going to be in the right order in your floor plans.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you've got to use some tricks to get them to go in the right way. So I'm going to say again yes, and now you can see we've got TOW followed by TW ridge in the project browser. There is a way to sort ascending by height, or you can put numbers in front of your level names as well if you want to get them to go in order. But if you can come up with a naming system that's automatically going to do that alphabetically, it makes life easier. And so there you can see this crop region, the rectangle that is going around that section view, is a little bit small. Yeah, so you could always just select it and stretch it out to give yourself a bit more room, and it will actually make it easier to work with the levels if you bring it outside of those levels as well. You don't have to do that, but it does help.
What do you do when you haven't crossed your levels across the reference plane?
Oh yeah, so there, well that's because the reference plane was made before the levels,
Yeah.
so you can always stretch them up here so that they cross over the levels.
Because I have done my levels crossing across it.
Oh, just select the levels and then stretch them across.
Just select it.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, sweet.
And it's good to give yourself room so the levels are outside of the reference planes. And one of the reasons that I draw the reference plane, in case you're wondering why I did them, when we were just going to draw a boundary over them anyway, draw the property line over them. The reason I still would do them normally, even in that situation, is so that in these elevation and section views, you can see how wide the property is. So if the reference planes weren't there, because we don't have any walls yet, we wouldn't know how big this project is. That's right, yep. And anyway, so that's more than enough for the levels.
That's what you're saying, you don't know how long to draw.
That's right, your levels. That's right, exactly, yep. So now, just to finish off the set out, I'll do the walls, and so these are fairly straightforward. You've got the rear wall, 3 metres from the boundary, and then the other main wall at the front, 3050 from that boundary. So I'm just going to use reference planes for those, but I'm not going to draw reference planes for every single wall. They can just get in the way if you have too many. So, but I do want them for those 2 main walls. So I'm going to draw back in the ground floor plan. Draw a reference plane 3 metres in from the boundary on the right, and then 3050 from the boundary on the left. More than anything, just so that I can, in section view, then see how big the building is. Oh, 3050.
305 on the left and on the right.
On the right's 3000. Yeah. Yeah. So ref plane on the architecture tab. But then the other walls, I'm just going to draw by putting the dimensions in as I go. So I'm just going to put this over to one side so I don't have to keep switching windows. And if you're wondering whether you can insert this drawing into Revit, you can't insert PDFs, unfortunately, as yet. It's a shame because you can insert PDFs into AutoCAD, but not into Revit. So if you ever want to insert something like this into Revit, you just need to save it as an image format. So JPEG, TIFF, PNG, and then you can insert them. No, so on the left it's 3050, but on the right it's 3000. And so then, but with just so you know as well, with the drawing like this, I would never insert it and trace it because you've got the dimensions there, and so it's much more accurate to type in the measurements if you've got them. Yeah. But if you've got a drawing that doesn't have measurements, it's often a good idea to insert it and then just trace over it. So so horses for courses depends on the resources you have. Anyhow, I'll just go straight ahead now and draw in the those walls and probably finish it there. So using the wall tool, back on architecture, I'm just going to click on the top of that wall button to start drawing walls, and notice I'm in the ground floor plan, not ground floor, because we want our walls to start from the ground. They sit on the ground, not on the ground floor. And then, before I draw any walls, I'm going to create the wall type that I'm going to use. So you'll see in the properties panel, it'll probably start on double brick 270. Even though this wall is double brick, we're going to make a simpler wall type because these are existing walls. We don't need to show all of the construction. So I'm going to go to generic 200mm wall. It probably is. You've probably clicked on it already, and so there should be a green tab up on the top right that says place wall, or just press escape twice and then click on wall again. So is there a green tab on the top right? Yeah, got to be in ground. Yeah.
Oh, what a long. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
What's that? Yeah, sorry. Oh, so just PP, type PP, double P, and then you should see it. Okay, so so hopefully you can see then in the list of wall types, you'll have any generic wall. It doesn't matter which one, generic 100mm, 200 or 300. Just choose any of those because we're going to change it anyway. Now they're a good starting point. And then if you click Edit Type, then you can duplicate that, clicking on the Duplicate button, and give it a new name. So we're going to call it Existing 250mm wall. Yeah, that's generic 200 or any of those generic walls, yeah. And so if it's 250mm, it may still have a cavity, but maybe not. It could be solid brick, rendered both sides. But actually looking at the photos, it looks like it's painted, so let's have a look. Yeah, it's just painted face brickwork, so it maybe does have a cavity. Building that age though, I'd say there's a good chance that that it is still solid brick. Yeah, a lot of them are around here. And it's terrible, you've got to put waterproof window on and really do a lot of work to make them waterproof. It's just the way it is. So anyhow, when you see a wall thickness like that, just try to think about that if it's less than 270. So so there we are, there's the new name, but we've still got to then change the properties. So if you then click on the Edit button next to Structure, the only Edit button that should be there, and then you can change the thickness to 250. Don't need to change anything else there, you can just click OK after that. And then you'll see the coarse scale fill pattern should be on solid fill, and below that you've got the coarse scale fill colour, where you can click on that colour swatch and just change that to black, and it should have black as one of the colours you can choose there in the custom colours, or even the bottom of the basic colours. Okay, so just that coarse scale fill colour, and that way your existing walls are going to show black, which is how they should show. And then your new walls will have colour or a hatch pattern. So that's it. I'm going to click OK. But still not start drawing the wall yet. I've got to set some other properties. So up on the options bar, you've got the height, which should say height, and then next to that unconnected, and there you can choose TOW, top of wall, for the height. And then for the location line, finish face exterior.
Where again?
Finish face exterior. Yep. And then finally you can start drawing the walls. So, so I'll just go ahead and do this, and then I'll give some time to finish it off. So I'm going to click on I'm going to start on the intersection at the top left corner where the building should be. With the wall, yeah, that's right. That's right, exactly, with line. Yep, that's right. Yep. And so there it's not the intersection on the corner of the property, but the intersection of that reference plane that you've put in, which is the corner of the building. So from there, you need to go to the right. Okay, because you always want to try and draw clockwise from the point you start on. So I'm starting there, going to the right, to the next intersection, so that's again to this reference plane, not to the boundary corner, and then down to the corner or the intersection below that. And now I need to come across and draw to somewhere that I don't have a reference plane. So then I'm just going to go across and to the left and type in 6150, which is the measurement we need. Yeah, fine. Yeah, go for it. So the next dimension coming up is 750. So again, once I've moved the cursor to be 90 degrees. Yep, that's right. Yep. 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 Yeah, so if you lose it, so I'll just do that again. So I've just cancelled because if you make a mistake, you have to do that. So now I can just click on the wall button again, pick it up from the corner that I was going from last time, and now the trick is to move the wall or the cursor in the direction you want the wall to go first, then type in the measurement. So you don't need to click anywhere, you can just start typing, and it'll put the numbers in there, enter, and it'll take it up that amount. 750. So then the next one is across, it's across 7500 then. So again, moving the cursor to the left so that it's horizontal, and then typing in the measurement, 7500. And then up 1285. And from there on, well, yeah, you should be able to, but you'll see here there's a bit of a mistake in the, someone's fudged it a bit in the AutoCAD drawing, because mine's 810 and I don't think my maths is out. So let's see if we can work out where the mistake is. So I'm just going to take it across to the reference plane rather than typing in the measurement, which is 800, because we want it to line up with the walls we've drawn. So I've got an extra 10 mil there that's come from somewhere, and then coming up here to the corner, the next one's okay, 1715, so I'm just going to click on that corner there. So let's see where it's out. It's often the case that AutoCAD drawings are going to be out somewhere. Yeah, they're 2D drawings, and it's like hand drawing. They're not always coordinated properly. Yeah, I can't see where it's out, so let's see, is it up there? Oh, so let's try measuring this one. I didn't check that. So across here, yeah, 14,460. So what's happened? The I think the dimension at the front there should be 3060, not 3050. So they've rounded that off. Yeah. So to fix it, yeah. So I don't think you really need to worry. It's 10 mil. Yeah. 1 centimetre. So yeah. Well, look, if some builders build that accurately. In Germany, they build more accurately than that. They're to the nearest millimetre. But here,
My husband has a partner in this building.
right? Oh yeah, masons. Oh yeah, yeah. They are to the nearest mil. They've got to be because they're joints. They've got they don't have mortar joints. So the blocks need to line up and butt up against each other. But with brickwork and timber work, you can nudge things slightly one way or the other. So you're lucky if they're building to the nearest 10 mil in reality. They should be at least to the nearest 5 mil really, but still 10 mil out on the drawing's not too bad. If you did want to fix it, you could move all of these walls. I'll show you how to fix it. So if you make a window around this area here, so getting that reference plane, and then just these walls highlighted, but not that top wall, and not the very bottom or the very right wall. And then you can click on the move button, click a base point anywhere, move the cursor to the right, and type in 10, and then enter. Actually, sorry. Well, yes, but I'm going to show you. I just made a mistake, so I wasn't thinking the right way. So it was this one that was out by 10 mil. So I don't even need to move all of those other walls. They're all okay. I'm just thinking, yeah, that's right. This one's 1460. Sorry, it's just this one. So here, it's just the wall there at the front and the reference plane that we need to move, actually. So then, yeah, that's right. So if we move those, click and move, going to the right, 10 mil, and then now I'll measure that distance. So from this corner here over to here, yep, 14,450, which is what it should be. And then this one now is 800, and from this corner to the boundary is 3060. So we're going to say that is the one that should have 10 mil extra.
What did you say the local was?
14,450.
14,450.
Yeah.
That's what it should be once we move.
Yeah. Yeah.
134.
Oh, okay. I'll come have a look. Oh, okay. I'll have a look in a sec. So if you've done it though, have a look in your 3D view, and you should see you've got the shell of the building there. And so I'll do the floors next, but finish that there.